Hey friends, we're talking about Matthew chapter 23, verses 23 through 24. This is a pronouncement of woe that Jesus is making against the teachers of the law and the Pharisees. We've been working on this for a while now. This passage goes thusly. He says, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You give a tenth of your spices, mint, dill, and cumin, but you've neglected the more important matters of the law, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. You should have practiced the latter without neglecting the former. You blind guides, you strain out a gnat, but swallow a camel." Last time around, we got through processing a lot of that imagery. And this time around, I want to finish out processing some of the metaphors and the imagery that are present in this. And then talking a little bit about the effect that this passage has on me, because this is one that does get through the armor and gives me some stuff to think about. And so, though we don't normally go there, we're just going to go there and kick that around together a little bit. All right, I have Jeff play some music, and we're going to get back into it. All of that to say, from the beginning of Jesus talking to people in public, he has made it abundantly clear that lots of people are getting things right that don't really matter very much and actually don't matter at all and just look hypocritical if you don't get the big stuff right. But what he's calling people to repent on is like the big stuff. Like, hey, just a quick reminder, you're supposed to, if you've had an encounter with God and you've bent the knee to him and you embrace the values of his kingdom, like, first and foremost, that should manifest in that you do justice rooted in truth and the values of God and his kingdom. That should manifest in that you love mercy, because it is only by the mercy of God and the existence in the universal sense of the notion of mercy that you even exist or draw breath, let alone are called sons and daughters of the king, agents, heirs, citizens of the kingdom. So you gotta do justice. You have to love mercy. And all of that happens by faithfully walking humbly with your God, assuming the right posture before him. So I don't really care that you dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's on your dumb, weird, sort of truthy, sort of skeezy oath taking. Like, I don't care that you never said one mean phrase to somebody you didn't like, but said all the other mean phrases, because only one of the mean phrases you say to people you don't like is out of vogue. All that stuff is stupid if you don't first and foremost do justice, love mercy, walk humbly with your God. If you don't first and foremost understand the basic point of the whole exercise, then all the other things are really just a celebration of self and really just a hypocritical way to try to impress people with things that are totally arbitrary and nonsensical when divorced from the king and the kingdom and the values of that kingdom. And that is the charge he's making against these guys. And it's brutal. Far more withering a critique even than having your parents come home and be like, yeah, nice job. That's cool that you got a piece of gum. You completely missed the point of being an older brother. And if you were getting the point of being an older brother right, he still would have got the gum, but the real need would have been met as well. You got to do better, man. So Jesus says you should have practiced the latter without neglecting the former. You blind guides, you strain out a gnat but swallow a camel. We don't need to go into depth to break that down. Obviously, the camel thing conjures imagery from Matthew 19, the conversation with the rich young ruler and the camel passing through the eye of the needle and all of that business. But here, contextually, is really simple. You are so painstakingly careful over this tiny little thing that really probably doesn't have that huge of a consequence, while this gigantic, unmissable, glaring issue is happening right there. Ooh, I wouldn't want to consume a little bit of bug. Ooh, that would be grody. But you're like ingesting an entire rotten, bloated roadkill camel. Come on, how can you miss this? Well, how can they miss this? I don't know. How did I miss how to be a good older brother? Of course I should have taken care of my kid brother. I don't even have that kid brother anymore. Like, all screwing around aside, going to the very personal place. I hate that I screwed that up and that I don't get a mulligan on that. I hate that that's the story that sticks with me, because he's gone and I don't get the chance to do like adult brotherhood with him anymore. I don't get the chance anymore to reiterate to him how much I love him. And I hate what that story communicates and what it is. And so I share it with you, not ironically. I share it as a genuine badge of shame that sticks with me. But I don't know, like I want to be a good guy. I want to do things that make sense, but so often I don't. And I didn't in that particular situation. I missed the bigger point that was obvious and self-evident in the interest of some much smaller, frankly, selfish point. Sure, giving my brother a piece of gum could be selfless. Donating 1/10 of your mint and dill, that could be selfless. But divorced from the larger point, there's all kinds of avenues there to those things really being about self-aggrandizement and selfishness and getting what you want. However, if that donation of 1/10 of your mint and dill, if that giving of gum to your brother happens in the context of self-sacrificially understanding the point of things and being and doing and humbly understanding who you actually are and getting the larger point, then it's a lot harder for those smaller things to be twisted and perverted around into something that is self-serving. So getting the big thing right even brings those little things that could be made into something hypocritical into alignment so that they are subservient and an overflow and a reflection of your embracing of this larger call and of these larger values. Of all of these critiques, all of these woes that Jesus levels against these guys, this is the one that gets right through the armor for me, and this is the one that strikes deeply to my heart. I don't want to miss the point, even if I'm wrong on a whole bunch of theology stuff, and I just didn't read this text right or that text right, or I didn't evaluate this thing properly. Like, I don't know, that's going to happen. I'm wrong about a ton of stuff. I don't know which things I'm wrong about, or I think I'd try to change them, but I'm definitely wrong about tons and tons of stuff. I get that. I can accept that. That's cool. But I don't want to miss the point. I'd really like to understand the point and make all of the other things that happen in terms of this journey of faith and trying to understand a document like the Bible, like Matthew. I'd like all of that stuff to be subservient, and at least I'd like for there to be an attempt, an intentionality in my process of faith with trying to take all of those things and make them fit and be congruent and make them extensions of the larger point. So this one hits home for me pretty hard in a not academic, existential journey of faith level for me. It does not have to hit home for you like that. And that's just an honest take on where I'm at with it. We will get on to the next woe next time around. I just want to say thank you again. As I'm recording this, it's coming right up on the Christmas season and all of that. And I get to do this with you. I get to have these kind of conversations. I get to feel the permission to get into some more vulnerable places from time to time because you're cool and because you listen. And whether we think the same things or come at the world the same way or not, you're here. And what a kind act of grace and thinking outside yourself that is. I do not take that for granted. I will never meet most of you, but I appreciate all of you so very much. I'm thankful for all of you. So yeah, thanks for being who you are. Thanks for being wherever you are in the process of all of this. I hope this is something we can share together for a long time. All right, I'm Matt. This is the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast. Let's do this again soon.